So next is how to convert any CFG to the Chomsky normal form. The very first step is if there is any we check all the production rules, and if there is any start symbol on the right hand side of any of the production rule, we have to add a new production like S dash gives S. Okay, here S is our start symbol. So that is the step 1, and in step 2 we have to actually simplify our CFG. The given CFG has to be simplified, and the first step is remove all the null productions, then remove unit production, and then finally remove all the useless productions and symbols. So these 3 we have to do in order to simplify the CFG. Then the third step, we are actually starting to convert the CFG into the prescribed format. So if we have any production like this, A gives B1, B2, etc. Bn, that means on the right hand side we have more than 2 variables. Okay, so more than 2 variable is not allowed in our format. So what we do is we convert this into this production rule into like this: A gives B1, and the remaining part we take out the first variable, and the entire string variable we will assign to another variable called C. Okay, so this particular production is converted into the CNF format. That means we have 2 variables on the right hand side, B1 and C. B1 is the existing variable and C is the new variable that we are adding. Okay, then we have to repeat this step for all the productions where we have more than 2 variables on the right hand side. Okay, that should be done. That is the third step. Then when we come to the fourth step, we have to convert the productions into the second type of format. That means if we have any production rule like this that starts with a terminal, or it contains some terminal and variable, if there is a combination like this, what we have to do, we have to assign a new variable and assign this terminal to that new variable. Okay, and substitute this new variable instead of this terminal, so that we will get a production rule like this. Okay, so this also should be repeatedly done to remove all these kind of production rules. So our final aim is to convert all productions to the form A gives BC or A gives A. Okay, that means on the right hand side 2 variable, exactly 2 variable, or on the right hand side we have a single terminal. So that is the final format for all the productions. Okay, so 4 steps we have. Now we come to an example. So this is a production rule. This is a CFG given: A gives AAC, A gives small a, AB, epsilon, C gives AC or A. Okay, so the first step is to we have to check whether there is any start symbol on the right hand side of the of any of these productions. So we can see that there is no S on the right hand side. So in step 1 we need not do anything here because we don't have the S on the right hand side. Then in the second step, what we have to do, we have to simplify the CFG. So for that, first of all we have to eliminate the null production. So we have one null production over here, A gives epsilon, so that is one null production. So we have to remove A, and we know how to remove A. Okay, so when we remove A, so we take this production as such, and in place of these A's we have to substitute epsilon. So when I substitute epsilon for this first A, we will get the production AC, and then we substitute for epsilon here, then again it will be AC. So that is a repetition, so we use only one. Then we substitute epsilon for both A's. Okay, so that we will get C. So these are the new productions, AC and C. Those are the new productions we get. Then here in the second production, again we have a capital A over there, so we substitute for epsilon, substitute epsilon for A, so we will get AB. Okay, and there is no more A on the right hand side. So this is the new production after the elimination of null productions. Okay, so these are the production. Now we have to eliminate the unit productions. So here the only unit production is this one. Okay, this is the only unit production. S gives C, and what is C? C is AC or A. So we substitute this part for this C. Okay, so we will get the new productions like this. This is the new production. Then we have to check for the useless productions. Since there is no useless production there and useless symbol there in this, that means all the productions can end up in a string. So there is no useless production, and all the variables are reachable from S, so there is no useless symbols. So there is no useless production or symbol. So that means we have already simplified the production. So this is the simplified format. This is the simplified production. Okay. Now we have to move to the third step. That means we have to convert all the productions into the A gives BC format or A gives small letter a format. Okay, two variables or one terminal on the right hand side. Okay, so let us check. There are three variables here. So we have to take out these two and assign to a new variable and save it as a new production. Okay, so I assign a D1 gives AC. Okay, so this one is removed, and so I can rewrite this as a D1. Okay, a D1. Then in the second one there are two variables, no issue. Here what happened, we have a combination of a terminal and a variable, so that is not allowed. So what we have to do, we have to assign this a to a variable. Okay, D2A, and then it can be rewritten like D2C. So again it comes into the Chomsky normal form. Then this is permitted. A single terminal is permitted. Then now we check the third one, next production, A gives AAB. So that is also not in the permitted format. So we can tackle it in different way. One is we can assign these two to a variable. So first of all, this B has to be allotted to some terminal, some variable. Okay, so I allot D3 instead of B. I use D3 gives B. Okay, so this can be like this B can be written as a small letter A is D2, A D3. Okay, and again three variables are not possible, so one thing, we can assign this part to a variable, then we can assign. Okay, another, so here in this example I use the other way. I take this part and assign to the variable D4. Okay, so this A can be rewritten like D4 D3. Okay, so in different ways we can solve this. There is no unique solution. Different people do in different ways, but finally everything should be in the normal form. That means either two variable or one terminal. That is it. Okay, so this one we have rewritten. S is rewritten like this. Then A is rewritten like this. Okay, then C is given as D2C. That means A is actually D2. So D2C I can write like that. So on the right hand side we have two variables. So this is the final CFG that is in CNF. So we can check all the production rules, and here we have two variables that is in the normal form. Here only one terminal, that is also in normal form. This is also in normal form. Here we have two variables, that is also in normal form. Here we have two variables, and one terminal, that is also in normal form. There is two variable, and here also two variable, that is in normal form. Here two variable and one terminal, that is also in normal form. So all these productions are in normal form, Chomsky normal form. So we can say that this CFG is now in the normal form, Chomsky normal form. Okay, so that is the answer. Then we can check one more example. Okay, so convert the following CFG into CNF. So this is the example. So our step 1, what is our step 1? Step 1, we check for start symbol on the right hand side of any of the productions. So here in this production we have an S on the right hand side and